your outfit like you're showing all the time. Do you dress as a vampire quite often out on the road, on the street?
I do. I wear black. I've got black nail polish on right now and a lot of rings and stuff like that. I put the nail polish on for the premiere of the movie and stuff. And so, yeah, I do. I do a lot of like a darker and gothic aesthetic all the time. I wear eyeliner all the time. You know, not just on stage. I'm always putting it on. I have girlfriends, you know, scrubbing it off me in the shower, going, "You got to take this off sometime." I'm like, "Why? I'm just going to put it right back on." So I do, and I wear black all the time. I wear my stage gear many times. Some of it's things I wear off stage. Some of it's specifically for the stage, and it's very theatrical and big. But there's a lot of things like that I wear all the time, and I wear black all the time in my boots and stuff like that, and I always have my Scully cane and skulls on me and the skull belt buckle and everything. So I do. That's kind of my everyday aesthetic. I mean, I am like that. I am just turned up, a good few notches when I'm on stage and on the radio and things like that. You know, it's me turned up a bit. Up we go. It goes to 13. So it's like that. And but yeah, it's me, and I would dress like that all the time. Yeah.
Do you find yourself, living how can I word this right? Do you find yourself kind of living like a vampire at all, or?
Yes. The vampire is my spirit animal, I'm pretty sure. Yes. I'm very attracted to that. I've always liked vampire movies. And I'm highly nocturnal. I work, my work is at night, a lot of the gigs, a lot of the movies, night shoots, things like that, I got a day walk as well and go out, and do business and do things in the daytime and stuff like everybody else. But it's so much of my work and so much of my creative work, even when I'm here in the Batcave doing my own thing, creating things or working on things or even working on some things online, I work through the night. And many times it's like when the sun comes up, I go back to my darkened chamber, and I've slept in a coffin. I've done that.
Oh, I remember that. I didn't somebody or whatever, you were in an apartment with an ex-girlfriend or somebody or whatever in a coffin and somebody came there or whatever. I can't remember the story.
That was in upstate New York. I was working in amusement parks at the time. I was working for Paul Osborne, and he worked with, and Paul worked with everybody in the magic industry. He was an illusion builder and designer, and he also designed, entertainment, and packaged it for, theme parks. And I worked for Paul then in that time when I was at a park, in upstate New York, and, they, found me to be so unusual and outrageous up there. And this was the last season I was up there, and they were investigating because they were investigating me. The local police were investigating me for being a cult leader, and that was because one of the girls that worked at the park came to one of our parties that we had back, where we were staying for the summer there, which had a pool and everything. It was really nice. And we invited a bunch of other people we worked with there. So there were some other people there, and, and it was a range of people because some of the people they hire at the park, that run games and things like, there were people in entertainment, are not of age, so they're not drinking, they're not doing anything like that. Her mother did not like her hanging out with, all of us eccentric weirdo performers. And so she had ties to the local police, and she went and said, "Hey, I want you to look into this dude. He's, I don't like him because he's different." It was essentially it. And I am. I'm different, and a lot of people that are different can catch some backlash for that. So, it's just me being me. And I was pulled over by the cops for no reason, and they want to search my van, and they want to look in there. And I'm like, fine, do it. I know enough not to mess with those guys. And I found out after the fact they were more suspicious of me because I cooperated rather than give them any grief because they pulled me over for nothing. But I wasn't about to give them anything to, I wasn't about to give them a reason to cuff me and throw me in the squad. So it was a weird summer, and it was odd how it played out. But finally what happened is, my landlady who rented us the apartment where we all lived together, As I was living with three women in that apartment, and we were all taking turns with the other cast members sleeping in the coffin we had brought with us from Chicago in there, because the cast thought it was a hoot, and everybody, was just having fun with it, and people would sleep in the coffin. They would come over and hang with us, and then they would crash in the coffin. So we were doing that, and we did it all summer long. We were having a great time. But like I said, this girl's mother did not like us and did not like her daughter hanging out with us, because we were too, just too odd for her, too weird for her. And but my landlady let me in on it, and I called the cops, and this detective came over to talk to us, and he saw that we were just having fun. We were performers. We worked the part. Everything's cool, and then of course, in there in the middle of the living room is this coffin, and he's slightly creeped out by that, but he's cool with it as just a piece of furniture or something. But when he finds out we're sleeping in it, he's a little more than creeped out by that. And it's a good thing I didn't tell him what else we were doing, because that really would have weirded him out.
I won't even ask you what you're doing. But boy, that would be a tight space.
It was an all-purpose coffin. So whatever you could do in a bed, you were doing in that coffin, and that's what we were doing. So that happened, and I didn't let him go into that part of the conversation, but we got him calmed down, and he was fine, and that ended the investigation, because they saw that I was just, this eccentric performing, actor illusionist weirdo, and that satisfied them, thankfully. So it didn't go any further, but it was enough trouble getting to that point that I was glad I was done having to wrangle with the cops at that point.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was always an interesting story. Wow. Anyway, hey, we're going to wrap it up again now. Where can they find Dark Relm? And do you also have any other movies out there that are on DVD, or is it just Dark Relm at this point?
Oh, yeah. You're Dark Relm again. On my website, fitzgeraldrealm.com for the DVD. You can stream it. Go to Amazon Prime Video. Also on Amazon Prime Video, you can see me in. I have smaller roles in. They just added a movie I did, it was like 10 years ago or more, called The Thirsting. And by a director called Mark Vadic out of Chicago. And that's a fun romp. And so you can see The Thirsting on there, and I'm in that. I've got a small cameo role in that, and also a little bigger. I've got a bigger scene, a nice cameo in something called Arkham Sanitarium Soul Eater by filmmaker Julian Grant. Those are both also, I know for a fact, streaming on Prime. And if you look on Amazon and other places, you can find the DVD. Magus is a really good movie. I star in that. That's one by writer-director John Lachago out of Hollywood. And John makes great films. And Magus is a really good film. Lots of special effects in it. Really, really good. And I know you can still find the DVD on Amazon and some other places. I don't think it was in Prime for a while. It was on Prime Video streaming, but I don't believe it is anymore. Another one you could find the DVD for, I'm not sure where it is streaming right now. It was on Netflix for a while, but I don't think it is currently. Something I'm in called, another one by John Machago called Blood Gnome. And Blood Gnome is another movie that you could look up out there. That one's pretty famous too. And that's got a real cult following. Blood Gnome does, because it's a horror movie set in the BDSM underground, and it's a really cool, weird ride, and it's got these little gnomes that drink people's blood and stuff. If you want a really weird horror film, that would be another one. And if you can find it, this is like my very first movie, but it went to Sundance. This is a Sundance movie, a Sundance film, something called The Item by Dan Clark, and it's Dr. Odie in that. And that's a really fun, if you want a really weird, fun ride of a movie, and a really cool, and it's also, it made a little bit of history. It was, The Item is the first ever digitally made film to be admitted into Sundance. So it made a little history that way. And it was nominated for some awards and things like that. And so The Item would be another one. I don't know that it's streaming anywhere, but you can still find the DVD out there.
Interesting. Now, how can they find your thing on your posting or your page on Facebook?
On Facebook, it's under Fitzgerald Realm, or if you want to search it, it's under Ron Fitzgerald Realm, and that is my professional page on Facebook. I post on there all the time, all the things that are coming up, the movie screenings, my live shows, other events, and then, all the other, photos from these events and videos, and there's video of my illusions, there's movie trailers in there. So that's a good one if you want to find me on Facebook. It's under Ron Fitzgerald Realm. There's also a page for Dark Relm, the movie, under Ron Fitzgerald's Dark Relm on Facebook as well. You can find me on Twitter. You can find Dark Relm on Twitter, and I'm also on Instagram. And there'll be a Dark Relm Instagram starting up soon as we start to as Dark Relm starts to hit other streaming platforms.
And your website.
And website, once again, go to FitzgeraldsRealm.com. That's FitzgeraldsRealm.com. And go to FitzgeraldsRealm.com, and there's video on the front page. There's great stuff. There's bio and interesting things. And if you're interested in getting a copy, a DVD of Dark Relm, or some of a T-shirt, something like that, or a photo, you can get that through my website as well.
Well, Ron,
or anybody interested in their films or a booking or something, you can also message me and my team through the page.
Okay, great. Like always, Ron, I enjoyed having you on Night Dreams Talk Radio, and I think you're a great guest.
Thank you so much. I always love it. I always have a great time with you. It's always a fun time. So I thanks so much for having Rob and I both on to talk about the Devil Frame, and then keeping me on to hang out and chat with you. I love it. It's a great time. You're a great host of this thing. I'm glad everything's building for you, and I can't wait to come back. So thank you.
Okay, sir. Well, I want you to have a great week, and try to stay out of trouble with those hot babes you're always hanging with. Now, I got one question. Does your girlfriend ever get jealous?
No, not at all. We're very good about each other with that. That's why she's my girlfriend. She rather fancies a lot of the other ladies. So we'll go out and look at girls together. That's kind of how she rolls. So she's all good.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Okay, Ron. Oh, wow. Anyway, you have a good evening.
It might fall into the realm of too much information there, huh?
That's okay. That's okay. But that's the whole point.
Exactly. That's what they see. That's what you get when you tune in and listen to Night Dreams Talk Radio. You will hear interesting things you won't hear anywhere else. Right here with Gary.
Oh yeah, we try
Gary
to be
Anderson,
different.
Your host on Night Dreams. So you guys keep listening, because you get cool stuff, little tidbits like this here on his show.
Okay, sir. Well, you have a good one, and we'll talk to you again in a couple months.
You got it. Thanks so much, Gary. And thanks to everybody for listening, tuning in, and hanging out with us tonight. We all really appreciate it. Thank you.
And thank you. That was Ron Fitzgerald. You got to check out Dark Relm. I think it's one of the best horror movies. And I just, I watched it already about 3 or 4 times. What's interesting, like he mentioned in the show, he takes the atmosphere of doing his magic tricks on stage, and it's all tied into a horror movie, and it all comes together. So you can see him being a famous magician, doing all these things like the flaming casket cremation thing and all the razor blade things and all that, but it has a story, and it's so interesting how it all ties together. Again, you can find that on Amazon, Dark Relm, or you can go to his website and buy the DVD. I really recommend it. Well, anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I'll be back tomorrow. We got some great guests coming up this week. We got Mary Joyce on the 4th. Tobias Whalen will be on the 5th. We're going to be talking about cryptids, monsters, and all that stuff on that day. So anyway, I'm jumping out of here. Everybody have a great evening, and thank you for listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark. Good night, people.